right. Well,
coming up, also we're going to talk about an online church that is drawing thousands of gamers. We'll talk about that if we can after we update you on this lockdown taking place. So stay with us.
What is up, everyone? My name is PastorSouzy, and I'm the pastor of God Squad Church. Yes, the world's first church just for gamers. Today, there are over 1.2 billion gamers worldwide. If the gaming community were actually considered a nation, it would be the third largest nation in the entire world. And every year, gamers accumulate a total sum of 1.56 trillion hours every year. That's 30 billion hours a week. And when I've learned these things, I begin to ask myself a question. If gamers are spending this much time playing video games, then they're probably not hanging out in our coffee shops, they're probably not hanging out in our public parks, and they're definitely not hanging out in our local churches. And as a Christian, this causes a problem for me, and it causes a problem for you. Because how do we get the gospel to people who don't leave their homes?
So interesting. You just heard from Pastor MaxTV, who started an online church specifically for video gamers, and he's drawing thousands to his worship services. And that's where we want to bring in the man himself behind this very interesting movement, Pastor MaxTV, who goes by PastorSouzy. Thank you so much
Yes, I do.
for being with us today.
No, pleasure to be with you, yeah.
Fascinating concept. As a mother of 3 little boys who would rather have their faces in their gaming than certainly than do most other things, I will say they are good about going to church. My kids do like to do that.
Perfect.
But this really does reach out to an entire generation of people that parents are having trouble connecting with.
For sure. The gaming community is, you said it right there, a whole generation of people. It really is its own community. When you get to know the gaming community, I mean, one, even that video you just noticed, 1.2 billion, those are actually outdated stats. Now stats are showing up to 1.8 billion people. That a community of gamers that love to do something specific. The gaming community has its own language, words that if I were to even say right now, you'd be like, what in the world are you talking about? And being able to go into that gaming community with a message that we believe that God loves gamers just the way they are, that we don't need to change who we are in order for God to love us, has been incredible, because gamers can finally have a place where they can be themselves to do what they love, which is gaming, with the people they love as well.
Mm-hmm. As Christians, I can tell you that one of my greatest problems with a lot of the gaming that kids do online, is that I see so much of the occult represented so strongly in so many of the games. How is it that you appeal to that gamer who is being drawn in by the lure of the occult and flip that to turn it back to good things for positive growth and for their futures?
For sure. And a lot of the gaming community, unfortunately, there is a dark and toxic theme behind it. One, it could be motivated by the game that they're playing, or two, just the theme of the gaming community. A lot of the gaming community is motivated by people, they call it online, raging. People are getting super frustrated, cussing at one another. There's people that are trolling, saying things to each other they would never say if they were face to face. And there's a lot of behavior within the gaming community that we really want to go in. And I have a saying that I want us to be gamers that have learned so much integrity and so much character that when people find out that you're a gamer, they almost can't believe it. Because one, you're not engaging in some of the things that you're seeing. One, some of these video games that one have, I believe, a lot of demonic activity. Two, a major really thing that people have a problem with is, of course, the violence, not giving into the violence. And there's, in my opinion, people ask the question, well, then how do you even address violence in video games as a whole and not affecting the real world? Is one, I want to ask myself for everything and answer your question. What is the motivation behind why certain things are in the game we're playing? So there's games that I strongly believe that as a follower of Jesus that I probably won't see myself engaging in, like Grand Theft Auto. Because yes, there's violence in Grand Theft Auto and in Call of Duty, but motivated by completely different things. Grand Theft Auto, there's killing, there's murder of innocent people for absolutely no other reason than sheer entertainment motivated by hatred. In Call of Duty, there's a war style, a kill or be killed, a friendly, competitive kind of sport going on. And we encourage all gamers, especially those that are Christians, one, to play games that are representing our faith well, but two, that are going to help us to be people that understand that when we go into the real world, we want to represent the gaming community well, because one of the reasons I believe that a lot of people have a negative connotation on video games, unfortunately, is because of the games we play. We've allowed ourselves to be isolated. We've allowed ourselves to neglect our responsibilities at times. And I believe that as followers of Jesus and just people in general, that video games and responsibilities do not need to be enemies.
How long have you been doing this?
Been doing this for about 3.5 years now when I started my first personal stream, just me on camera playing video games, sharing God's love with people. But as the community began to grow, we began our official online church about 2 years ago, March 24th, 2016. And we're learning as we go. God has been bringing thousands of people our way, and it's been an incredible journey along the way.
Only about a minute left, but I want to ask you this. What's your favorite story? I know you must have a million testimonials out there that you would love to share, but if you could just pick one and nutshell it for us.
There's one story, a girl by the name of Valerie in Houston, Texas, 43 years old. Her mother had passed away, and she stumbled across my video game stream, was sharing her struggles with us and her grief. Long story short, while she was at her mother's funeral, someone broke into her home and stole all of her video game equipment, which is what she was going to use to cope with her grief. Through that process, we gathered some finances together, replaced everything that was stolen from her. And through that, she decided also to become a follower of Jesus. Her life's never been the same. That was 3 years ago. In 2 weeks, we're meeting in person at a SquadCon event we host every year where I'll have the privilege to water baptize her, and it'll be an incredible honor.
That's amazing. Well, we're going to want to keep hearing more about those stories. And tell us also how it is that you can get people, how people can find you if they want to find you.
Yes, so if you want to watch my personal stream, which I'll actually be streaming tonight, it's twitch.tv/PastorSouzy, SOUZY. And I want to encourage you to tune in this Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, for our regular church service for gamers, twitch.tv/GodSquadChurch. We'd love for you guys to attend. Tell a friend. We hope to see you guys there.
Yeah, it sounds like it's for all ages and demographics too. So that's wonderful.
It is indeed, yes.
PastorSouzy, nice to meet you this way. Best of luck with what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, we're going to give you an update on what